Drake sets run are very fluid anyway and very relaxed. We didn't shoot it very traditionally in terms of like, we'll do a master and then we'll come in for coverage and we'll do your side thing. Often the camera would just be sort of floating around and you sort of see it just like come around and it would just appear. I guess it's relatively in line with what Drake's done in the past and the way he likes to make movies, and it's terrifying, is the honest, answer. I think it was a sort of 70-page skeleton script that you really stick to in those first one or two takes because that's what you're used to doing. And then usually after one take, he's like, I don't want you to say anything that's on that paper. And you're like, fuck, yeah, okay, right, what happens next? And then you find your feet with it and you really relax into it and you feel very liberated and open and you feel like you can expose much of yourself emotionally, and it's an incredible process, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. He kind of left it up to us in terms of who we gravitated towards in terms of Frank and Jack, and when I read the script he was like, who did you like more and who do you want to be more? And I was like, oh wow, Jack's like a nicer guy. And I was like, oh, I'll be him. I've played enough sort of bad people in my career, and like I just thought there's a lot of goodness in him and doing the right thing, and I like to think that I can draw on that from my own life. I think in improv you end up playing like a kind of yourself in a way, you take a bit of comfort in that, but then there's some stuff that was way, I always knew I wanted to have kids. I love having kids. But Jack sort of was very against that. So, but I guess that's our job, isn't it? To play against, whatever you think. Shay, you instantly feel comfortable in her company. She has a very unique warmth that made those scenes easy. And actually we were just like giggling a lot and laughing because, for the most part, that intimacy is light. Of course, it can be passionate and everything, but it comes from a place of like, love and trust, and we were trying to manufacture that as much as we could, but a lot of that just came from trusting each other and instantly liking each other. I in a very, very fortunate to be in a position where I have a bit of say over what I do, a bit of choice over the jobs I take. And Justin and Aaron, they have a following, this like very sort of like feverish following of people who love what they do, and love their movies. So it felt like a very cool thing to be a part of. And I watched The Endless, which I think is a really incredible piece of work considering they made the budget they made it on. Mm-hmm. So it blew my mind. I was like, I'm not a sci-fi fan at all, really, apart from like the mainstream sci-fi that we all see. But I read the script and I cried at the end of it, and I was like, wow, I did not expect to cry reading a science fiction movie. And Anthony Mackie and I were meant to do another thing a couple of years back, and it sort of didn't materialize. So I'm a big fan of his, so I wanted to make that work. Most of the best scripts are indies. Yeah. I love working in that environment of like 5 to 15 million, that kind of budget, where you could always do it an extra week on the schedule, but you're definitely not getting it. And it's sort of kick bollock scramble to finish every day. And I think that brings out the best in people, from actors through to, craft service. I mean, everyone, the whole crew just rallies. Yeah. And I love being a part of that energy.